As human beings, we have a variety of relationships. It starts with child and the parent. It grows with the brothers, sisters, getting married, having children. So many different types of relatives on one's own side and the married partner's side. Then the societal relationship, professional relationship. Like that, a variety of relationships are there. But many of you may not know, the best full-fold relationship is between the teacher and the student. I am not referring to the school and college teachers, professors and the others. We have got Guru and Shishya, means the disciple goes to the teacher's house, stays with him, starts learning. The whole of learning is had from there. They will learn, the teacher will teach for about 5 or 6 hours maximum a day. For the rest of the day, the students are free, but they will not go away. They will be in the vicinity of the teacher, and teacher's wife will take part in household matters, trying to serve the mistress of the house in various ways. In olden times, they used to go to the forest, bring firewood, split them, sweep, wipe, draw water, milk the cow, help the mother in cooking. By the time the student finishes his learning, he is fit to run a full household, however complex it is. Very rarely the students did not return home. They decided to straight away enter into this kind of a life, after being inspired from the learning that they had. So the relationship between the Guru and the teacher is very, very sublime, supreme and wholesome. It is so wholesome that the teacher shares with and infuses all the learning he has in such a manner. It is not giving a 1 hour or 1 period lecture and going away. The teacher and the students, they live together. Anytime the student can go to the teacher, raise his questions, seek clarification. It was a very full-fold relationship. And a good teacher and a good disciple, if they join together, what happens is the teacher makes the disciple another teacher. To put it in beautiful Sanskrit, as Shankara would put it, Swiyam samyam vidhatte bhavati nirupamaha tenava alaukikovi. He imparts and infuses into the disciple whatever he is, so much so that the disciple becomes a full-fold teacher. He becomes like the teacher, a duplicate teacher, or an equal teacher. This is the relationship. Understand that you are somewhere near that. The option lies with you. Why I said this? I said this because we belong to that wonderful cultural tradition. I am what I am, or what I have been for the past 67 years, not because of the academic education I had. No, not at all. I happened to meet my teacher, my Gurudev, and I became close to him. We became very close, so much so that he shared with me whatever he had, as a result of which I became like him. There is something called Parasamani, philosopher's stone. It has got such a power that whatever it touches, it becomes gold. Shankara says that there is no illustration from the 3 worlds to tell you what transpires between a teacher and a student. Why? Can you not use the illustration of the philosopher's stone? which converts everything into gold, which converts everything into gold. Whatever it touches, it may be a piece of stone, a piece of iron, a piece of dust, a little water, maybe a burning charcoal, it will convert everything into gold. Can you not use that as an illustration? He says, no. It only converts into gold. But the spiritual teacher converts the disciple into himself. That is the difference. Do you get the point? Huh?
Yes.
Huh?
Yes.
Why I said this? Ma told me, would you like to start the session with something? So I am going to start it with an adoration to the teacher. Keeping in mind this fact. Madhya hridaya kashe Sadanandamayo Guru Udetu Satadam Samyak Swatmananda Prabodhagaha. Swatmananda Prabodhagaha. The Sadguru, the great spiritual teacher, is one who awakens in you that unique bliss and blissfulness which arises from the direct knowledge and experience of the I, the self in you. He makes you realize what the I, the self, is in full measure, as a result of which the disciple realizes the abundance your mind and heart contain and convey. The fullness that is lurking, hiding within you. And when once you realize this, the whole ecstasy of life is released. Abundance, fullness and ecstasy. Okay, now I shall answer your questions.
Pranam Swamiji. This question is from Malini. You have often mentioned in all your discourses that the Bhagavad Gita holds the answer to all our problems. My question today is, how do we look for answers to our problems, be it finances, relationships, marriage, or family disputes?
Very good question. I compliment her. See, in the 2-day discourses we had in the Siddhivinayagar temple, Pataling Jaya, I explained to you that life is experiential. It is also interactional. You can never get an experience from anywhere outside. All experiences are subjective, personal. They don't come from the body, they only come from the mind. This much, are you clear? Huh?
Yes.
I may interact with a multitude of things in this world, but my interaction belongs to me. It rests on my mind. I may see an elephant, I may see a mosquito, I may see a mountain, I may look at the endless sea and the infinite sky. The looker in all these is the same. So whatever be the problem and wherever it is, all problems are arising from the same mind. Do you agree or not? Huh?
Yes.
If all the problems are resting in the mind, the solution is with the intelligence. And where are these two? Are they outside your body or inside? Now Bhagavad Gita shows you, as I have shown yesterday particularly, that your personality is an epitome of the whole world. In the whole world, you have only Panchabhutas, the solid earth, the fluid water, the gaseous air, the brilliant and hot fire, and the infinite space. All these five called Panchabhutas are the constituents of your body. Tell me now, are you not an epitome of the world? நீங்க என்னம்மா பேசாம இருக்க? Open your intelligence. Be bold and free. Never be deterred by anything. So you carry an epitome of the entire world. Mr. World, you have nothing besides what I contain in my personality. Then I contain something more than the Panchabhutas. The earth, water, air, fire and sky don't have intelligence, don't have sentience, sentience. I have it. So I am superior to the Panchabhutas. I have Panchabhutas plus the sixth factor. So I am wholesome, my personality is wholesome, and I contain more than what the Panchabhutas have in themselves. Tell me, all the problems are arising from our interaction and our experience. The experience and interactions, tell me, where are they occurring? Is it 1 millimeter away from the body, or is it all inside the body? What is the point mentioned here? Bhagavad Gita holds the answer to all our problems. My question today is, how do we look for answer to our problems, be it financial, on relationships, marriage or family? Tell me, who marries? Where is the feeling of marriage and married partnership? Is it in the skin? Is it in the eyes? Or is it in the mind? Where do you remember your husband? When you see the husband or wife, who tells you that this is my partner? Are the body and senses telling you, or is it the mind? When you have financial sufficiency or insufficiency, who feels it? Tell me boldly and confidently, otherwise don't answer. What part of your personality feels it? Mind. So the problem in marriage, the problem in finance, the problem in relationships, the problem in anything whatsoever, is it not a problem caused by the mind? Yes. Then the solution is in the intelligence. Arjuna felt a colossal problem after coming to the Kurukshetra battlefield. That colossal problem, Sri Krishna resolved for Arjuna by arousing, awakening his intelligence. The same Arjuna who sensed colossal destruction, he started feeling nothing is destroyed. Everything is eternal. As I am, so are all the fighters. The fight takes place only at the bodily level, but not at the soul level. So I can fight any number of wars, he said. Tell me how he said it. The doubt and delusion were in the mind. They were about the war. Maybe they are about marriage, about your relationships. But the problem maker and the problem sensor are the mind. And the solution is in enlightenment provided by the intelligence. In all the experiential and interactional life, my dear souls, mind is the sole factor. And intelligence is the additional factor, nothing else. Is it clear or not? Yes. Malini, never raise this problem, in this question anymore in your life. I feel the problem of my partner. I feel the problem of finance. I feel the problem of relationship. And in me, which part, if you ask, my mind. And this problem will be resolved only by the intelligence. Intelligence alone has influence over the mind. Your mind cannot be influenced by anything whatsoever outside. It can only be touched upon and improved by the intelligence. What Arjuna had was, he was deluded, he was confused, he was ignorant, he was doubtful, he was fearful. All are products of the mind. And all of them were resolved by the intelligence. The mind became bold, confident. He had confidence, he had courage, he had resolve. He took back the bow and arrow when the problem was resolved, and he fought for 18 days. 4.5 million warriors were present there. Not that all were killed by Arjuna, but minus 10, all of them fell dead. Arjuna walked away victoriously. This is what spirituality and philosophy can do for you. I don't want anything else except your intelligence to resolve all your problems. And intelligence alone can resolve, not anything else. Because nothing in the world can touch the mind. No product from outside can enter into your mind. Every outer object will remain close to the body but not go inside. The food gets inside, that is, goes to the alimentary canal to be digested and converted into blood. Am I clear? Yes. Is it a solution? From the morning when you wake up till you go to sleep, you are interacting. You interact with a number of objects, but the interacting you, the subject, it is the same. The interaction is taking place in the mental level. And the solution is also there. So the objects make no difference to the mind. It may be a marriage problem, educational problem, finance problem, relationship problem, but the problem sensor, the problem recognizer is the mind. So it is a mind's problem. And the solution is with the intelligence. What is the next question? Are you happy? Yes. Very good. See, I have made you like me. I have no problem and no difficulty. Now, I have explained to you and you have also become non-problematic. Knowledge is the greatest persuasion in human life. Malini, I have made you like me. Be like me hereafter. Okay.
Okay, Swamiji, the next question is from Unikanan. Question is, Swamiji, last night in your discourse you mentioned what was present in the past will be present today and in the future. What was not present in the past will not be present now and in future. I think you were referring to the soul. Swamiji, am I right in this assumption?
Give it. You have no business with it. Read it and give it. Yes, but I would like to add. I only refer to the presence. Whatever was present, if something was present, it cannot become absent. Is it difficult to understand? Existence can never become non-existence. Lightness can never become darkness. Darkness can never become light. White cannot be black. Black cannot be white. Of course, sometimes man becomes woman. But we don't distinguish between man and woman. The human becomes human. He never changes. He doesn't become an animal. Except perhaps after a dog bite. If it is not treated, he will start barking like a dog. I am told, but I have not seen. And he will attack even the house members. The effect of that poison. So it is. But you need not, and I don't want you to characterize it as the soul. Then your understanding will not grow. You can call it soul, you can call it God, you can call it pure consciousness, you can call it pure knowledge. There are three words generally used: existence, consciousness, and bliss. That is it. It is existing, it makes itself aware of, and the resultant feeling is one of blissfulness. So the Supreme Presence is called existence, consciousness, and bliss. In Sanskrit, Sat, Chit, and Ananda. And the soul is that. When you say the soul, I am afraid, you will always associate a form for it. That presence is like the space, like the sky. It is not like fire, not like air, not like water, not like earth. That difference you have to understand. It is something impersonal, impersonal.
Okay. The next question, Swamiji. My physical pain makes me feel separated from everyone and everything else. So where is the oneness? I cannot feel anybody else as one with me.
You did not read the name. Huh?
Anonymous.
Anonymous question I generally don't welcome. The one who has given the question, is he there? That is also anonymous. See, you should not be reluctant or disliking to give your name. Why? Am I answering the question or am I answering the questioner? And are you shy to ask question? Suppose we all find you questioner, we are happy and we want to compliment you. See, I cannot talk to the paper. So I would like, if the questioner is here, please stand up. Timid. Well, let me see you very well. Let me see you well, please stand up. Very good. Why? Don't feel shy. You deserve more. My physical pain makes me feel separated from everyone. Why are you saying so? My answer will be, your physical pain clearly shows that you are separate from the body and therefore separate from the pain. Many people do not know what is pain. Pain is our best friend. In the absence of pain, anything can thrive in the body in the way of a disease, infection or disorder, and we will never know it. In the cases of internal cancer, see, I am subject to correction, but I know whatever I know. It's all told by doctors. In the case of internal cancer, which cannot be visibly felt or seen, the cancer is not identified because it doesn't cause pain. So first, second, third, even fourth degree cancer it becomes. Then only some symptoms are produced. And by the time it is diagnosed, it is already too late, the patient dies. Suppose it is a visible cancer, with visible symptoms like some abscess or something, pain, etc. It could be treated and the person be cured. In the absence of pain, I think life becomes horrible. None of us would be able to live. The intensity of the pain gives you the idea of emergency. So much of pain, we immediately call the ambulance and go to the doctor. So, first of all, I would like you to understand the need for the pain, indispensability of pain. And when I say it makes you separate from the body, first of all you say, I have pain. Then I ask you, where is your pain? Oh, it is in my stomach. What? What? It is in my stomach. It is not in my head. Sometimes you will say, my head is paining. When you say my stomach or my head, are you not separate from them? Huh? Yes. I want an answer. Yes. Don't be reluctant. Answer me boldly. You are living in a house. Are you living in a house or are you the house? Living in a house. You are living in a body. The body is separate from me. I can ride in a vehicle only when I am separate from the vehicle. So I have pain in my stomach or my head. If the pain is relieved, I feel comfortable. So the painfulness and comfortableness are a couple of feelings and discomfort that you have. Out of so many pairs of opposites which constitute the world, pairs of opposites which constitute the world, pain and pleasure also are one. So the pain clearly shows you that you are separate from the body. But you are not separate from all others. Because every living being has pain. And all the pains are common. Do you know in English or in medicine, there is no description of a pain? What is pain? It is a collection of some unpleasant sensations. You cannot define pain. You cannot define pleasure also. Because both are mental experiences. Because they are mental experiences, they cannot be explained with any vocabulary associated with the object. Is my talk becoming abstruse or clear? Clear. Huh? Clear. The pain is felt inward. And all the objects are visible to the senses. This cannot be visible. So it is beyond the level of the senses. How can I relate that experience? Except saying that it is comfortable or uncomfortable, like cold and heat. Now all are having similar pain. Because all are having similar pain, don't you think the pain makes me feel that I am one with all? It indicates your oneness with others or separation from the others. All people who have a body like mine, we all have pain. That is why the doctor understands when you say, I have pain in the stomach. Where are you having? Here. And he presses the stomach. And he is able to understand where the pain is. Is it a case of appendicitis? Is it a case of something else? So pleasure and pain certainly make us feel that the whole of the life kingdom, living kingdoms, they are the same. Where is the oneness of life? My dear boy, are you prepared for an answer? Huh? I will show you. I will show you. You sit in a manner so that I can see you. I will show you now itself. Take the body. Body is separate from others. It is separate from your parents, separate from your married partner, separate from your children. But there is one factor which is not separate. The air in the body. Tell me, the air that I have in my body and the air you have in your body, are they separate or one? Sollungo. Are we not breathing common air? Yes. So the air makes us one or two? One or many? Yes. Then the mind. Mind is still subtler than the air. So we have the mind, you have the mind, everybody has the mind. So mentally, are we not one? Yes. Huh? Yes. That is why you understand pleasure and pain alike. Joy. The same sight pleases everybody. pleases everybody alike. We see the black color and everybody agrees that it is black. So the perception of colors, is it not indicating the oneness of the mind? The oneness of people? So where is the difference? The difference is only in the bodily level. And unless such difference is there, how will you be too many and interact with each other? Suppose bodily also we are one, what will you do? Can anybody marry? If we are all one? Another man will say, I have married, I am one with you, so you don't marry. So even in the air that you have, we have oneness. In the mental experiences we have oneness. And the oneness is absolute when you reach the level of I. Everybody says I. Man says, woman says, child says, old man says. The man about to die says, I am going to die. So the I is absolute oneness. Absolute oneness. It is beyond the mind, beyond the intelligence, beyond the ego. When you reach the deepest level beyond the ego, in the mind and intelligence level, we are already one. So when you go to the still deeper level, I level, don't you think we are far more one? Huh? Yes or no?
Yes.
Very good. Next question. The fan is revolving and we feel the touch of air. Are we not feeling it alike?
Yes.
So this body makes us feel what? Oneness or manyness? All the sensory organs. Eyes in the matter of sight, ears in the matter of sound, nose in the matter of smell, tongue in the matter of taste, and skin in the matter of touch. Are they not alike for all? So even the body makes us feel we are one. Blood from a body can be transfused into another body provided the blood matches. So blood is transfused. We are trying to transfuse my intelligence and knowledge to you as blood is transfused. Here I am transfusing without any machinery, only using my sound and your ears. So we are one. Otherwise, how can the blood be transfused into another? I think all these indicate oneness and oneness and oneness alone. Next.
The next question, Swamiji. Can you give me the connection of mind and soul? After death, is the strengthened mind carried forward to the next life? The intellect stays strengthened in next life.
Do you want me to give a real true answer?
Yes.
Or a diluted answer? Are you ready to hear the true answer?
Yes.
You know that we are born. When we are born with no experience. If we are born with no experience, how can we have a mind at the time of birth? How is the mind developed? The new child is born and slowly it starts interacting with the world through the senses. The first sensation, I don't know, the doctors may correct me if I am wrong, is that of touch. It was in the mother's womb, always warm. Now it comes into the world, so there is a direct touch through the skin. Then suckling, taking food, that is taste. then the feeling of touch by the mother, from the mother, etc. Slowly sound. Thereafter eyes. So all these sensations, when they come in and they are centralized within our body, that is the time the mind gets born and growing. And this mind, there are instances where the grown-up mind is lost bit and bit. Not clear? People have dementia and many other things. What we call the mind, the doctors will say it's all brain. So the brain is a physical part of the body. And when the brain is damaged, we lose the mind, we lose the intelligence also. So if the mind is born after the birth of the body and it grows slowly and steadily, the mind is also subject to elimination or extinction during the life. What will survive? Can it survive after death? No. You have to think, my dear souls. So the statement that when one dies, only the body dies, mind, intelligence, etc. are carried forward is actually a great myth. Decorated lie. Why is it given? Because people are not prepared to appreciate or understand. When I die, everything will go. I thought body alone goes and something survives. So they are so fond of their mind, etc. Everything they leave and go. They cannot think of the possibility. I was traveling on train a few years back in India. Whenever the train stops in a junction, I will come to the door and stand at the door and look at the platform, etc. So I found an old man with a middle-aged man by the side walking, helping, etc. And this sight repeated at 3-4 junctions. So being a sannyasin, I talk to people freely. So I asked the younger one, who is this? My father. Does he have any problem or trouble? See, my father is working in the UN as a very high official. UN has given him a freedom to recommend 2 people. They will be appointed on his recommendation in the branch in which he is. So much of liberty, recognition he has. He is about to retire very shortly. So thinking of the retirement, he has lost his mind. What do you say? And dementia, I always ask people to chant Vishnu Sahasranama so that you will not have dementia or severe disease, etc. Vishnu Sahasranama you should read because it memorizes, activates the memory. So, we are speaking this lie to help the people, saying that suppose I go to a man, it has happened sometimes, man about to die. So he said, Swamiji, I am going to die. I want to know, my wishes are not fulfilled. I like my family so much. What will happen to me, my dear Swamiji? Will you tell me your words? I shall accept. I said, you will be born as soon as possible, and that too in your own family as a member. It can happen even within a year. He's consoled. I am consoling him. Whether I speak a lie or truth, it does not matter. But it's a lie. Decorated lie. This is my answer. Now I can tell you what will happen to you. I will give you answers, beautiful answers as Krishna has given to Arjuna. Next question.
Okay, the first question from Sheila is, if the soul or intelligence has infinite powers or possibilities, why doesn't the soul carry the memory of the past?
Now, if the soul is intelligence, why does it not remember the past? Actually, soul never remembers, and it has no past, present and future. The soul is a kind of presence which is very extensive. It only gives rise to other things. It does not itself do anything. And from the viewpoint of the soul, where is the past, where is the present, and where is the future? Past, present and future are relative terms we postulate before us. Am I clear? Huh? It is for the people living with a body that we have ideas of the past, ideas of the present and ideas of future. The soul is transcending the body. It is not at all bodily. So it does not have. There is no question of remembering at all. What remembers is our brain, our buddhi and our mind. Whether the buddhi can remember the past, if you ask me, normally not. The present memories themselves are ample for us and troublesome. Why should you have the past memory also? Suppose I tell you that you are a barking dog in your past life, will you be happy? Will you not bark at all people? So never look for any past and information about the past. Very dangerous. Very dangerous. So it is better that we forget the past and we live in the present. But within the same life, you need not be bothered about the past, present and future. It is all one life. The second question is?
The second question, when we are inflicted with sufferings, our elders and gurus say it's because of our past karma. Question, why am I being punished for the crime I do not know of?
Actually, we console people saying that you are suffering in this life because of the actions done in the past. Because they are not able to find any act which they have done wrongly, as a result of which they are suffering now. So we console them saying that it is not because you are good. No, you are good and you will not suffer for that. This is the impact of suffering which you had incurred in the past life. It is offered as a solution. In your case, if you don't like this reference, then my answer will be, you are suffering only because of your ignorance. Only because of your delusion. The ignorance and delusion are the present problem. Try to be enlightened and try to get rid of your delusion. There will be no suffering at all. You know, my body is old, if I can call it old. 90 years are over. I always say 90 years. Normally I don't like anybody should live beyond 80. And I have lived for another 10. I don't think it should linger on for long. Any moment it is free to go. I encourage it also. So whenever I answer in the form of correspondence, I say, the entire world is full of pairs of opposites. Are you understanding? Huh? In Sanskrit we call it dvandvas, pairs of opposites. What are the pairs of opposites? Man and woman, day and night, inside and outside, mind and body, good and bad, virtue and vice, heaven and hell, fortune and misfortune, punishment and reward. All these are pairs of opposites. They are in the sensory object front, they are in the mind front, they are in the intelligence front. Knowledge and ignorance, memory and loss of memory, all these are pairs of opposites. Similarly, health and ill health. So I am having mostly health, sometimes ill health. These are just like any other dvandvas. So I was unhealthy or I had ill health for some time. Now I am healthy. So my ill health does not affect me perhaps so much. You have to ask Ma how do they feel about it. Sometimes I have extreme discomfort and I try to express it. So one day Ma said, oh, if you are so, what did you say, Ma?
Swamiji has a little fever right from the time I'm at his feet, many years back. He makes lots of sound of pa, ma, like this. So, those days, Swamiji's room was just, as you suppose people are entering from there. Next is his room. So, I used to say that, Swamiji, anybody coming will hear that you being a saintly person, you are doing
At that
a
time,
ma.
Ma was not so enlightened as she is now.
So I was saying, you're making so much sound, people will think that you are not a saintly person. So Swamiji said that I am what I am. This is my nature, to make sound. So what is there? My body is sick, so I'm making sound. Okay, if you write my biography, you can write that our Swamiji was like this.
So now I am making a sound. All of you will be surprised. It has not come to expression here. A sound I make. I don't know how I make it. I have no control. I am suffering from a disease. My body is suffering from myoclonus. So it was with a very powerful sound. When I had it, I asked Namrata to take a videograph and then play it before the neurologist. He understood it. Suppose the video was not taken, we can never try to explain it. So such sounds also are there. So the pain reaction also is there. What shall I do? Shall I nullify the pain? So the sufferings are necessary to understand happiness. For example, don't you think hunger is a suffering? Huh?
Yes.
Unless you have hunger, will you have a taste for food? So your sufferings, are they physical or mental? Mental sufferings can be completely eliminated by spiritual wisdom. That is what Krishna did. The crying Arjuna began to speak clearly and consistently in a matter of moments. If it is physical suffering, it is a subject for the medicine to deal with. When Ma was in the hospital, a doctor went to her and said, she was mentioning about some discomfort. She said, you are in the hospital. Whatever suffering you have, you tell us. It is for us to relieve you of the suffering. What is the role of medicine? Huh? Is it not to relieve the body of pain and suffering?
Yes.
So if it is bodily suffering, give it to the doctor. If it is mental suffering, give it to me. People come to the ashram with intense suffering. My child has gone. My husband has gone. I talk to them, maybe for half an hour or 45 minutes. By the time they go, they smile and go. I have done it in so many cases. There was an engineering student who used to come to our ashram. He will come and stay for about 30-40 minutes. Many times he had come. He had not taken a cup of tea from us. He will ask me 3 or 4 questions. After that, get up and go. One day the mother came saying that he is gone. He was absent, so I searched for him. So he was lying on the terrace after taking poison. You can imagine the suffering. So that lady, the couple came to me, father and mother. I was speaking to them. One day I told her, Indira, the boy was your son. You are the mother. Will it not take some time? There is a natural impact in you. You should cry, weep. Liberally you cry, weep. You know what happened? They are not every day coming, once in a way. Within 2-3 months she started laughing and talking. Now she is giving lectures on spirituality and Gita in a very simple and a minor manner. She said, my son was my teacher. I don't think of him as a son. One day she told me, he was looking for friends, etc. They get a call for interview. But I wish when my son was there, he would also have got. So I said, if you feel this, why don't you call the son home? Please come. Whenever I look at you, I think of my son. Please come, I would like to give you a cup of tea and give. Swamiji, I should do it, but I am not able to do it, she said. Why don't you make light of every situation in life? Nobody's birth is instrumented by anybody else. Biologically, there is a sequence. But in the mental level or intelligence level, etc., everything starts after birth. Until birth is a simple biological process and outcome, where the mother and the father do not have any role to play. They should not destroy the pregnancy, that's all. Every child is shaped by nature. These two questions I have answered. If the sufferings are bodily, medicine should take it up. If the sufferings are mental, saintly people should take it up. I have resolved the suffering of so many people. When I was speaking on Asianet, the first information I got was that Swamiji, a person is suffering from the death of his wife, so much of suffering. They have a handicapped child also. Only because of your talk we are able to live and undergo the suffering. So this wisdom is only meant to take away the sufferings of the mind. Let it be poverty. Let it be public ridicule. Let it be anything whatsoever. If it is a suffering in the mind, that suffering can be taken up. Next.
Okay, we have a few questions from Nandika. There's 1, 2, 3, 4 questions. I'll read.
Generally, you should restrict to one question. So many questions, how can I answer?
Number 1.
Then you will not come here also. You must have more questions every time one. Okay.
Okay. Number 1. What is the purpose of the continuous cycle of life and death? If God is so kind and perfect, why weren't we created perfect? 2. Is our life our doing? If God is so kind and perfect, why are many people suffering in the world, born in poverty and sickness at birth itself, even when they have not yet even done anything wrong or sin? 3. I eat meat. I am a non-vegetarian. But if I live a life full of dharma, kindness and spirituality and all things God approve, can I still have enlightenment? Will I still have to be reborn again next birth? Can I not be done with life itself this birth? Last, why are some people so evil and selfish in their action? Is it because they are born that way and God made them that way, or is it their actions and their doing?
Who is this? Your questions. Achha, very good. Oh, 3 papers. See, you are raising a question of perfect and not. I told you the world consists of only pairs of opposites. Where from did you get the idea of perfect and perfection? If imperfection was not there, imperfectness was not there, would you ever have thought about perfect? So for you to have the idea of perfect or perfection, you must have the idea, counter idea of imperfection. Like that, everything in this world is a pair of opposite. You cannot have a single one. You open your mouth, you can also close it. You make a word, there are 4 letters. After every letter, there is a pause. There is a pause. So understand that if you have to get the idea of perfectness, then God must also provide the counter called imperfect. So they go together. Otherwise, both will not be there. If we have darkness, we have light. If you want to have light, there should be darkness. And are there two? No. It's only one. Either the darkness is lowest degree of light is the highest degree of darkness, or the lowest degree of darkness is the highest degree of light. So tell me, are there light and darkness or only one? In the same manner, it is degrees of perfection. One is fully perfect, the other is lesser, 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 and at one point it becomes so low that you don't call it perfect. Oh, it is not perfection, it is imperfect. So these dvandvas or pairs of opposites are there only to begin with. But when you understand them and live with, and you try to probe into them, the perfect, imperfect ideas, we call them dvandvas, the dwells, they disappear. And you go to a level of transcendence where neither perfection nor imperfection will be there. Does it make sense to you? What is the purpose of continuous cycle of life and death? Something should be there, so this is there. If something is not there, can you imagine? Our astronauts went up years back to the moon. So they left the orbit of the earth and they reached that clear sky. Can you imagine? Huh? The void sky. At that time they had no idea of anything whatsoever. They lost the sense of time, the sense of objectivity. They had to be awakened by ground engineers saying it is morning, get up, go to the toilet, wash your teeth, take bath, have your breakfast, etc. So if all were perfect, it is impossible. And if dvandvas are not there, we will be traveling in a void sky. Would you like it? Huh? So let this be. This is the best that you can think of. Suppose all flowers were uniformly white, would you like it? Will it make a garden? Or we must have a variety of flowers. Only in a state of plurality, our intelligence can develop sense of discrimination and then grow. And the growth becomes final where these distinctions vanish and your intelligence is able to preserve non-dualness. That is called liberation.
Next question. According to the Hindu scriptures, when and how were the human beings created? It was asked by Pannir.
Shall I answer it?
Yeah.
The biological human was born at a time which we cannot access at all. The birth of the universe took place so many, I don't know what to say, millions of years ago. None of us was there. None of us was there. When the world will be dissolved, none of us will be there. So both conditions are such that they will not be accessible to our senses. Am I clear? It is something that we cannot see or hear. So we can access it only through inference, through the intelligence. So, when the first human was created, it is inaccessible to us. But we can certainly say evolution started at one point. We cannot even say one point of time because time was not there. Time started when objects came in space, and then the time could be identified with the changes taking place in the objects. Suppose the sun does not rise and set, will we have darkness and brightness? So unless objects are there and they change, time cannot be a measure. So space, objects and time, they evolved together. How did they evolve? That we can say. It is just like you rise up from the sky and immediately these dimensions come to you. So it was a state of, any word I use will be wrong. Any word. I can only use word from the object vocabulary that I have. So first there was nothing. Even to describe as nothing is wrong. And then suddenly an emergence took place. Now, measuring it by time, when it took place, we cannot say. But our scriptures do refer to it. Brahma, where from Brahma was born? Brahma is the creator. And Mr. Brahma was not born. Then they say Mahavishnu was sleeping. And from the navel, not from the genitals, a lotus came. And from the lotus, Brahma was born. He had no head. So he looked at 4 directions and received 4-face head. This is how they say. So there was a point. See, any word I use is wrong. There was a point. What point? There was a time. That is also wrong. So suddenly, from the so-called nothingness, that is also wrong. This manifestation came. It is just like from sleep you wake up. In Bhagavad Gita there is a verse. Avyaktat vyaktaya sarvaha prabhavantya haragame ratriagame pradipradiyante tatraiva vyakta samjage. There was something called unmanifest. Unmanifest. Manifestation is coming in an express identifiable form. So there was unmanifest, avyakta. And from that, suddenly this distinction arose. Again at the end of the day, it will go back to avyakta. Just like you wake up. It is not your waking up. You wake up. And with that, a world becomes manifest. And at the end of the day, the same world goes into unmanifestness by your sleeping. Exactly in the same manner, this also has happened. We have 2 words in our Shastras, Veshti and Samashti. I don't know whether it will be right if I translate it as microcosm and macrocosm. So whatever is in our individual experience, the same is the truth about the other bigger experience. They are same. Shall I stop?
The next question is from Purushottamam. What is the mind? Is the mind a product of brain cell? How is the mind healthy if the brain is not healthy? And the last question is pantheism acceptable with Sarvam Kalavidam Brahma?
Sarvam Khalvidam Brahma. You are looking at I am answering the question, what is the mind? Which is the mind? I am asking this question. Mind, intelligence, ego, etc. are names given to expressions which are inside the body, which cannot be accessed by the senses. Am I clear? Because they cannot be accessed by the senses, seen by the eyes, or heard by the ear. We can access it only through our intelligence. Am I clear? Huh? Yes. So you should only employ the intelligence and come along with me as I go. We say mind and we define it. It is a bundle of memories. It is like a flow of thoughts, etc. So many things are there. You can explain it in any manner, provided you understand and others hearing you also understand. Anybody is free to use any expression. But when you probe further and further, all your definitions get altered. So I have found my definitions which will simplify the procedure I feel, and I have been explaining to people. Our body is made up of matter. It is physical, material. In the whole body, it is animated by an inner subtle presence. I don't define it at all. And that presence functions as the mind, functions as the intelligence, and functions as the ego. It is just like our legs, a pair of legs. They do the walking, they do the running, they do the standing, they do the sitting, they do the lying. Is there anything called walker in us? Liar in us? Lie. It is all the legs. These are functions done by the legs. Similarly, the inner presence, which is consciousness, pure consciousness, that consciousness does these functions. Which function? When it does mentation, it is called the mind. When it does intellection, it is called the intelligence, intellect. When it does assertion, it is called the ego. So they are functional names and not substantive names and entities. It is like this. You look at the moon. Tell me, for all people who have eyes, what is the moon? No answer. It is a brilliant orb on the sky. Absolutely brilliant. Later on we came to know it is reflecting the shadow of the earth. It looks like a rabbit. This is the moon. Suppose you go near the moon, what is it? Huh? It is a rocky, solid structure. But when we are looking at it, it is just like a bulb. So, the nearer you approach, whatever you have seen and understood earlier will fade off. And you have to be progressive in your understanding. That progressive understanding is what is required. So, mind is a functional note of consciousness. Intelligence is another functional note. Ego is another functional note. The substance in all the three is the same, but the functions are different. That substance is such that it can do any and all functions. Three functions are constantly done: mentation, intellection, and assertion. It is all one pure substance. Is this mind a product of the brain cell? I always say I am a speaker and I speak well. Now I am not able to speak well in terms of sound and the emphasis I want to convey. So, many people say if I begin to talk, I get an ego and all that. In my life, ego is no problem at all. I am never an egoistic and a proud person. Pride has to find some other place. There is no place in me. So what I say is, I don't know what I talk. The way I have understood matters, ideas are formed in the brain. Those ideas are communicated into the vocal system. Ultimately, it comes through the tongue. Only when it comes in the form of sound, I hear it like all of you. I have no ownership of what I speak. I feel that I should speak well. I think of the subject. That's all. So, where the mind is it the brain, etc.? If you ask me, the ideas are produced by the mind. But all these are focused in the brain. Suppose you have aneurysm, a blood vessel breaks, and it cannot be impaired. All your memory will vanish. I have seen a girl, she was about 21 years old. She had an aneurysm. Doctors interfered and plugged it, so it broke in another place. That was also stitched. She lost all the vocabulary that she had learned. She will say, looking at the fan. She cannot speak fan. So we have to accept this fact. The entire memory is stored in the brain. But mind is not brain. By mind we refer to the power and process of thinking, memory, etc. By intelligence we speak about the power and process of examining and evaluating matters and arriving at ideas of right, wrong, etc. And ego is a coordinator of all these functions. Now where these functions are focused, etc., I don't know. It is not my subject at all. If you want me to give you an explanation about the body, and so far as the body is concerned, I hope my information is correct. If more research has been done and finding, I would like to know. There are three independent factors in our personality. One is the brain, which sends signals. Another is heart, which pumps blood. The third is lungs, a pair of lungs, which give oxygen. Every time the heart is pumping, the lungs are bellowing, and oxygen and blood are taken to all the cells in the body. But for every beat of the heart and bellowing of the lungs, there should be an individual signal from the brain. But, the brain should get the blood from the heart and oxygen from the lungs. So the brain is not independent. The heart and the lungs are not independent. They are interdependent. If three organs are there which are interdependent, tell me, there must be one coordinator to keep them interdependent. Where is that coordinating factor? As far as I am told, medicine has not been able to find so far. Is pantheism acceptable? This is a word which Max Muller has formed to describe the multiple ideas of divinity in India, Hinduism. Hinduism is not theism, monotheism, or this is a pantheism. That is, it has got a number of gods and goddesses, and anything will become God. If possible, we can install an atom in a temple and we can call it atomic God. But the atom is not visible to scientists themselves. It is an invisible product that they are learning and teaching. The scientist told me, I have not seen an atom, but I speak about it. So, I think pantheism, that is the name given by Max Muller, German Max Muller, to our Pullayar Govil. Some sannyasi in Kerala, he installed a mirror in place of the idol and said, I have installed a mirror so that you will go and look at it and see yourself. In the same manner, the whole world is reflected by the mind. So we can do anything, we are clever.
The next question, Swamiji, is from Nisha Karan. If there is one thing to teach a child, what should be taught? How best shall it be done?
This is an area where your Swami has something substantial to speak. The moment a child is born, the child is in the hands of the mother and father. You could do nothing when it was in the mother's womb, but you can do everything after its birth. So you should provide the right sensations and stimulations to the child. Now what is right? This is where your efficiency, your goodness and your devotion and piety count. Initially the child cannot see, but hear. Play very good, beautiful music. And in such a tone and tune that the child will be able to absorb and appreciate. I know of a child who is growing in London. His father is a radiologist, gold medalist. The mother also is a radiologist. So he is my disciple. So he will always ask me, the mother will say, I don't know to bring up a child. So we play to the child your talks and songs, etc., song of the soul, etc. And the child is reacting. I taught some verses during the last retreat. Satyam jnanam anantam nityam anakasham paramahakasham. See, this boy is chanting. We are teaching the Bengali, West Bengal, Dakshin Khanda. Some of the children are singing. They are not very old. There are people who have committed the whole of Vishnu Sahasranama, children who are 7 years old. Can you imagine the memory? 1,000 names, one after the other. The sequence is maintained. And they can chant from end to beginning. And they will say, which sloka? 83, they will say. 22, they will say. So you should feed the child. And when the child is able to see good pictures, beautiful, good flowers and other things, don't think that the child cannot learn. It will learn. But you should stimulate it, help it. And the best will be good things, benevolent things, useful. So I think mothers and fathers have to be careful. The trouble is that they don't know themselves. They can maximum show film stars pictures. That is what they can do. Or cricket play. See, give what is stimulating to the child. What kind of a child? While the child is in the mother's womb, the role of the mother and father, particularly the mother, is what kind of a boy or girl you want. At least say, I want the child to have a good mind, a good intelligence and a good heart. I want him to be loving, be sympathetic, be considerate, be sacrificing. Go on chanting it as a mantra, and the child will pick it up in the mother's womb. When he comes outside, he also becomes independent. So he may not listen to you. So put everything beforehand.
Swamiji, the last question is from K. Ganesan. We accept that vegetarianism is good. However, it is not made obligatory in Vedanta. My actual question is lab-based meat, where cells are cultivated based on cells, brackets no killing. How does this new tech affect?
You see, if there is no killing and there is no life also involved, cells are there. So that sinfulness of killing is not there. The rest of it is highly scientific. I have to know it better before I can offer a comment. But what I say is this, you cannot always trust the scientists. When I was in Calcutta before my sannyasa, I happened to read that in Japan, a whole building was made of plastic. Whole building. Now fiberglass etc. has come. Now what do the same scientists say? A particle of plastic polymer product, it takes 5 million or 5 lakhs of years to disintegrate. And you know, in the Pacific Ocean, 360 kilometers square plastic accumulation is there. Tell me who is going to digest it? So they will say, no killing, etc., etc. After some time, another scientist will come and say, oh, it carries this wrong. So I am not very clear about it. Better try to be organic in whatever you do. You are safe. Any product that the earth, Mother Earth grows by herself, that is the best, safest, inevitable also. But I have something to tell you if you are intelligent and impartial. All forms of flesh, meat that you take, don't you think they are the flesh of vegetarian animals? Huh?
Yes.
They are surviving on vegetables and vegetarianism. They are converted into meat in their own body. Why do you want to eat that meat? Any meat that you eat, is it not a product called carcass? Huh? Is it not a dead body? Would you like to be a vulture? Who eats dead bodies? If it is bottled, suddenly it becomes good. The life is gone. It is killed. It is just like the hen, cock, all of them eating. And then these non-vegetarian people, they are not prepared to kill themselves. They want others to kill. How insincere and how, what shall I say, hypocritical are you? See, vegetables are taken by these animals and they are converted into meat in their body. If the meat is a product of vegetable, why don't you eat the vegetable yourself and create meat? Eat more. And so far as the merits are concerned, after the Second World War, vegetarian, non-vegetarian soldiers were separately grouped. And they found that the wounds were faster healed by vegetarian people. And there was more delay and trouble in the non-vegetarian bodies. There is a product called vitamin C, very absolutely necessary for human beings. But in the meat you don't find vitamin C at all, they don't need. So it is very important. Our human system is made by nature. Is it to eat others' meat or is it to produce meat from vegetables? If you ask the structure, if you analyze, our intestines are longer. Non-vegetarian creatures' intestines will be shorter. They will have fur in the body. They can see at night. They have claws which they can be extended and all that. And the vitamin C is absent. You have to depend upon the fruits. And even people who eat non-vegetarian food, they don't eat all non-vegetarian, no. Non-vegetarian, but others also. Basically, larger part is vegetarian and a smaller part non-vegetarian. So I think our body is not supposed to survive on flesh. And all these animals prey, they kill. And while the animal is living, they start eating. In our case, somebody killed, bottle it up. Maybe after 2 years you get and you eat. I don't find any rational or any kind of a human grace in that. Do you want to make your stomach a burial ground? It's a question that you have to answer. Is our stomach supposed to be a burial ground? By eating dead bodies. I am too cruel, is it not? Too strong. But mind you, Vedanta does not always insist that you should become a vegetarian, but we advise so that you will be better. tolerance will be more, vitamin C is there, healing power is more, immunity is more. Our Maharajas, this Bhagavad Gita itself is considered to be a Raja Vidya. It was possessed by Maharajas. They were going for hunting and they will hunt, and it is generally for eating, sport and also eating. Krishna was a Kshatriya, Arjuna was a Kshatriya. I am sure they must have been eating non-vegetarian food. In spite of it, Gita was spoken by Arjuna, by Krishna, and received by Arjuna. Am I clear?
Yes.
So these remaining questions you should give me more time. Shall we stop now?
Yes.
None of you thought that I will take up all questions, is it not? We are very clever people. You know what is the definition of a Vedantin? As Bhagavad Gita says, Anapekshaha, Shujir Dakshaha, Udasino, Gatavyataha. These are the qualities of a spiritual seeker and knower. Anapekshaha, no expectation. Shuchihi, clean, externally and internally. Clean dress, clean place, bathroom clean, kitchen clean, everything should be hygienic. Then inside your mind should be clean, intelligence should be keen. There should be no harmful elements supplied by the mind or the brain. Shujihi, daksha. That one word remember. Daksha means dexterous. Dexterous. You should always be very clever, efficient, persevering, given to achievement. Every time we will think, what was done? Could it have been done better? Have I done full justice to my performer status? This kind of an introspection should be there. Okay.